Hey, for those of you making the standard cowl with the I-cord bind off on either end, what you're going to do at this point, if you haven't done it already, is you're going to take your beginning of round marker off of your needles. And as you can see here, it might look a little different than yours because I actually knit the end of my contrast color along with my main color for that last brioche row, just so I would have one less end to weave in. So if you're wondering why I have double stitches, that's why. Just ignore that. So the first thing you're going to do, like I said, is remove that beginning of round marker, and you are going to cable cast on 3 stitches to your left hand needle. To do this, what you do is you take your right hand needle and you stick it between your first and second stitch on your left hand needle as if to knit. Now, the way that you do that is you're not sticking it through the first stitch or the second stitch. You're slipping it in between them as if to knit. You're going to knit a stitch as you normally would, but you're going to leave that first stitch on your left hand needle. You're going to leave it on the needle. You're going to draw up some yarn, and without twisting, you're going to slip that stitch that you just made from your right hand needle over to your left hand needle. Okay, so that's 1 stitch. Now you have a new first stitch and second stitch. So once again, you're going to go through the first and second stitch, knit a stitch without slipping that first stitch off the left hand needle, draw some yarn through, transfer it from your right hand needle to your left hand needle without twisting. And you can give it a little snug up when you do that too. So now I have 2 additional stitches. I need 1 more. So between my first and second stitch, I'm going to stick my right hand needle through there as if to knit. I'm going to knit a stitch, leave the first stitch on the left hand needle, draw the yarn through, bring that stitch onto the left hand needle, snug it up a little bit, and now you're ready to go with 3 stitches cast on to your left hand needle using the cable cast on. At this point, you're going to repeat the I-cord bind off stitch pattern until 3 stitches remain. The stitch pattern you'll see is knit 2 together through the back loop, and then you take those 3 stitches that you've just made and you slip them back onto your left hand needle. Let me show you what I mean. Going back to my first stitch, making sure that we're knitting into that stitch. These first 3 stitches might feel a little funny, but it's just the nature of the cable cast on. So knit 1, knit 2, and then you're going to take your next 2 stitches and you're going to knit those 2 stitches together through the back loop. Once you're done with that, you're going to take those 3 stitches that you just made, 1, 2, 3. You're going to slip those back to your left hand needle. And then you do it again. Knit 1, knit 2, knit the next 2 together through the back loop. slip those 3 stitches back to your left hand needle. Repeat. So knit 1, knit 2, and the next 2 stitches you're going to knit together through the back loop. Slip those 3 stitches that you just made back to your left hand needle. I'm going to keep going and I'll meet you at the end. So I have my 3 last stitches on my left hand needle. Those 3 last stitches are going to get knit all together through the back loops. So go through the back loop of all 3 stitches, cut your yarn, pull it through, and what I like to do is make another little loop. Pull that through, break my yarn, and now what you'll notice is you have this gap to join. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab your tapestry needle, thread the tail of your yarn through there. So I can see where I would like to start grafting the ends together, the ends of the I-cord together. So I'm just going to use my tail end of my yarn to start grafting those ends together. And again, you're just going to follow the pattern of the I-cord. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It's pretty easy to hide any blemishes. Now just go ahead and once you have that joined, go ahead and use the remainder of your tail to draw these holes closed. And once again, doesn't have to be perfect. So that's the first bound off edge.